All right, new raids are coming to the game on Thursday. That's right, the Chaotic Storm raids. And there's some positive changes here for casual alliances to allow for various types of players with different levels of intensity towards Marvel Strike Force and collection sizes. I think that is a very good thing. Today, Kiln Tower will be starting. I'll be live on Twitch, and week 4 drops will be starting at server reset. So probably within an hour or two of launching of this video right here. The new rewards will be available on Twitch. Come join us. Link to my Twitch channel will be in the description, where we're going to get training materials and power cores, as well as the Nightcrawler costume. Come hang out. We'll have a blast. Chaotic Storm raids and the new raid difficulty selector. The future of raids, and this is a severe departure from the direction the game was going a couple years ago. This is actually quite refreshing in my opinion. Alliances have evolved since the early days of Marvel Strike Force, with many now composed of players with a diverse range of total collection power. This evolution has allowed friends of varying collection powers to join forces in the same alliance, but it also meant that raids must adapt to better accommodate modern alliances. The future of raids is here with 2 major updates arriving together: the new Chaotic Storm raids and the individual raid difficulty selector. Yeah, they were really pushing with events and even like spending events based off of alliances, where you had to be an alliance of not only the same level of intensity, like, you know, how hardcore you were, your collection power size, and your spending levels. So this is a extreme departure on what the game was incentivizing in the past. I know a lot of people said that they wanted to play in casual alliances with, you know, their family members or even co-workers, but then it became in a place where maybe one was playing the game more casually, and some of the people in the alliance were, you know, not logging in every day, and other people were going hard and needed the better rewards, and then a decision had to be made to move into a better alliance. And frankly, I hear stories of people getting Odin in lightning speeds, you know, 7, 8, 9 months into the game. And that's largely has to do with having the ability to be an alliance that can carry the individual to get the resources to finish the various dark dimensions. Being in the right alliance is a big deal. It really is. The Chaotic Storm raids are ushering a new era of raids for alliances, and now the backdrop to one of the explosive final sections of Age of X. The new raid will replace all of the green raids, Ultimus, Doom, Incursion, and Orcus, becoming a home for commanders level 20 plus. You can get to level 20 in a couple hours, like within the first day of starting the game. Turn key resources. Note, during the transition from green raids to Chaotic Storm raids, any green raids underway at the time will be allowed to finish. My understanding, this is going to happen on Thursday. Alliances have the freedom to tail the raid to alliance goals and ability in 2 ways. The first choice is between the separate raids. So there's going to be a standard Chaotic Storm raid, and then there's going to be an Omega version. This raid is ideal for new and mid-level alliances, along with those composed of varying collection power levels and individual player goals. Players can adjust each raid node to the difficulty level of their choosing using the individual raid difficulty selector, which we'll discuss below. Second option is going to be the Chaotic Storm raid Omega, and this is going to be for higher end, I don't know if that's the right word. This is a raid choice for competitive, highly organized, communicative alliances, or those with a roster of uniform high collection powers. The rewards are greater, but alliances can only set a uniform difficulty for standard nodes. And I know communication's been a challenge. I know like certain alliances make Discord mandatory, and I know a lot of the more casual alliances, there will be people that won't or don't use Discord, and the game is going to do something that's somewhat special. They're going to integrate Discord into the in-game messaging. My understanding is that Marvel Strike Force is going to be one of the first, if not the first, mobile game to integrate Discord directly into their chat. That's a pretty big deal for getting new players involved with the Marvel Strike Force community. New boss lanes, and this is probably the most exciting part of this post. Both the Chaotic Storm and the Chaotic Storm Omega will come with an optional boss lane for every member of your alliance. Boss nodes don't count towards your alliance completion percentage. So if you find the boss is too tough or prefer not to engage in a boss node, you can back out with penalty of your alliance and choose the main lane. Cool. You can set your individual boss node difficulty using the individual raid difficulty selector as long as it's higher than the difficulty set by your alliance. And I hope that they do tie some sort of rewards, even if it's cosmetic. Bosses, something that I've wanted in the game for a long time. So again, this is a step in the right direction. The Chaotic Storm raids will have 5 difficulties in addition to default. Here are the requirements. The highest difficulty will be purple level 3 ISO 8. And I know that this is a significant bottleneck for a lot of people. Again, I believe getting this resource is tied to your alliance almost directly. For example, in my alliance, I don't feel like this is unbelievably scarce, but I know other people are experiencing a significant bottleneck here, and I think that has to do with what your alliance is doing. Agents of Chaos overcome unique foes lurking within the Chaotic Storm raids from difficulty 3 and above are powerful enemies with special abilities to test your squads. Enemies are different for each trait restriction, so review the below enemies for each. Please note that these effects will only apply to the first attempt at a node. These effects will only apply to the first attempt at a node, so it'll get easier. Okay. Fire nodes. Shadow King Chaos. Shadow King Chaos in this mission will attack first, applying Psychic Scar to all player side characters. Psychic Scar. I watched Scarface the other day. I forgot how good that movie is. My goodness, classic. Scarface. Reduce the active healing of this character by 50%. This character cannot fill speed bar for any characters. This does not apply to speed bar gain through normal means. So this is going to be similar to what Captain Britain does in Crucible or Zombie Scarlet Witch does inside of Alliance War. So this is a pretty familiar mechanic. Frankly, this is what North Star does in raids. So there's kind of an example of a character that does that in each game mode. Mutant nodes, Madeline Pryor Chaos. Is the mission will act first and apply Cerebral Wound. All right, so they're going to go early in the match to introduce some sort of negative effect that persists through the first round. Reduce the active healing of this character by 50% on mutants. Okay. Mystic node, Emma Frost Chaos. Going to go first, put out Mind Fracture. Reduce the active healing of this character by 50%. So that is essentially the same thing that Madeline Pryor does. In the Jean Grey Chaos node, she's going to apply Psychic Blacklash at the beginning of the battle. Whenever an ally assists, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 3 for this character and all their allies. So this is going to be like an in-game Thanos, where it's going to remove the positive effects, including Safeguard. Tech nodes, Psylocke Chaos. In this mission, will act first. Mental Decay is what the ability is going to be. Reduce the active healing of this character by 50%. So 3 of the 5 do this active healing. All right. And then we've got an anti-speed bar manipulation. And then we've got an anti-cyst mechanic. So the rewards, because this is what matters, right? We need rewards. Chaotic Storm will have more rewards in the nodes themselves than the alliance completion to ensure lower level commanders and alliances that may not have 24 members or who may just want to play at their own pace can enjoy the rights. This is completely opposite of what I felt their intention was with raids for the longest time. I've been covering this game for 7 years now. This is just so wild. I feel like everything in this game was, as far as raids are concerned, was designed in a way for, if you weren't holding up your part and you were letting your 23 alliance members, then you need to get out of our alliance. I mean, I felt like it was designed to create that sense of urgency and FOMO or whatever you want to call it. This is a complete reversal of that. At least that's what their intent is for these raids. This does not apply to the Chaotic Storm Omega, as the bulk of the rewards will continue to be in the completion percentage of your alliance. So I think what this really means is that they're allowing 2 paths for the alliance, either a casual or the more sweaty is what I would call it, to exist still. So this may not change a lot of things from my alliance in particular. Rewards for Chaotic Storm include various tiers of gear, orb fragments, raid credits, and gold. All right, so the individual raid difficulty selector. We teased this feature back in our December preview blog, and here it is. The individual raid difficulty selector now allows players to increase their individual difficulty and rewards on a node-by-node basis. This option is available in the Chaotic Storm raids and the boss nodes for Chaotic Storm raids Omega. You see it rolled out for select future raids. Here's how it works. Choose your base difficulty, which they had up here, right? The difficulty levels, which is gonna, the highest difficulties are going to be depend on purple 3. All right. When launching the Chaotic Storm raid, players can choose the base difficulty that will apply to all nodes. Once the raid is launched, players can't decrease their difficulty using the selector, only increase. Interesting. Okay. Personalize your node. If your roster is ready for a higher difficulty than base, you can select a higher difficulty from the selector dropdown. Selecting each difficulty will alter the enemy stats in the list of enemies before launching the node. Higher difficulties will earn greater rewards, so don't be afraid to test your roster. Nice. You launch a higher difficulty and find you're not quite ready for the challenge, you can use the reset button besides the difficulty selector, either after being defeated during the raid or after backing out. Resetting the node will reset all enemy health and ability energy, allow you to return to the base difficulty. Okay, so you can back out. Doesn't look like there's severe penalties there. Note, your character health, abilities, and death will remain even after resetting the node along with the raid energy spent. You can also reset a node on behalf of an alliance member. So if alliance mate attempts a raid node is defeated and you don't think you can defeat the node, you can choose to reset the node. Sounds good. I'll have to see. Join the Chaotic Storm with your alliance. So this is on March 27th. Begin organizing with your alliance to choose the best raid for your alliance and the optimum difficulty to maximize your rewards. I see what they're doing here with the boss nodes, and I do like that. For me, I kind of would wish we had some sort of boss mode, you know, where we had a monstrous Shadow King that we could attack into, or Galactus or whatever, right? But I think there's some tech limitations on the way the game is designed to make that happen in its current form. Let me know what you think in the comment section. See you on Twitch if you want to get the rewards. Bye for now.